Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of something called a line of credit. And if you don't know anything about me or you're new to this channel, oh, why am I showing you this 14 grand check? Oh, never. Let me actually go to this. This is my mortgage that I paid off in 2 years and 9 months, and, once you've become significantly debt free, you could pretty much see through the matrix, and, one of the things that you'll realize is that, paying off debt actually requires a lot of emotional fortitude. Like, it's not for the emotionally weak because one of the things that you realize is after you paid off debt and then just share some ideas with other people, you'll notice that they have this fear-based language that they always try to speak to you in, like, "Well, that wouldn't work because of why would you do that? That's dangerous, right?" And it's like, "Well, I already did it." Okay, I already did it. And this is why, one of the things I'll tell you is don't tell other people your plans, succeed first, and then tell other people what you did, but act like you didn't do it yet, and then you'll realize, like, you can see through the matrix, and that's why a lot of you will have trouble applying these principles because you'll wanna tell people that um, like, "Hey, well, look at this cool debt payoff strategy. It's relatively easy, and you get access to something called lines of credit." And then they'll look at you probably like you're the dumbest person on earth, right? And that's unfortunate is because, you probably are in the matrix. And, yeah. In fact, I always love asking ChatGPT to explain what's going on. Can you explain in the voice of Morpheus why using velocity banking to pay off your debt is not for the weak and tied to how other people don't want to escape the matrix? So let's go ahead and read this.
In the voice of Morpheus, slow, deliberate, with gravity, let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there is something wrong with the way you've been taught to manage money, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Velocity banking is not for the weak because it demands what most people fear: discipline, intention, and the will to see beyond the illusion of financial freedom they've been sold. You see, the traditional way, the matrix way, tells you to take out a 30-year mortgage, make minimum payments on credit cards, and defer to institutions that profit from your ignorance. It's a system designed to keep you in perpetual servitude, quietly siphoning your time, energy, and potential. Most people accept it without question because to question it means confronting the terrifying possibility that they've been lied to. But velocity banking? It is the red pill. It is waking up. It is choosing to attack debt rather than merely manage it. It is using cash flow and strategy, leveraging tools like a HELOC or credit line to accelerate the destruction of debt rather than letting it feed on you slowly for decades. Yet this path is not easy. It requires that you know yourself, your spending, your habits, your limits. It requires that you see money not as a master, but as a tool. It demands that you resist the comfort of the matrix, where you are told what to do and reassured that slow and steady is safe. Safe for them. Most will not choose this path. Most are not ready. They cling to the illusion. They are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. They will call this too risky, too complicated, or even impossible. But you, if you are ready to stop serving interest and start mastering it, if you are ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start moving with precision and purpose, then I offer you this. Take the red pill, learn the principles, master your cash flow, leverage with wisdom, and I will show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Right? Too risky, too complicated, impossible. And then also, I asked ChatGPT, can you also talk about how once you paid off your debt, you realize everyone else is a major agent of the matrix? Oh, this is a good one too.
Morpheus continues, leaning forward, voice steady and commanding. The matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around. What do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, doctors, people you're trying to save. But until they are unplugged, they are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. It is no different with debt. When you pay off all your debt, truly unplug, you begin to see the world for what it is. You are no longer owned, no longer controlled. You've broken the chains forged by compounding interest, minimum payments, and consumer addiction. You are, for the first time, free. But freedom comes with clarity, and with clarity comes isolation. You look around, and what do you see? People financing new cars with 84-month loans, swiping credit cards for things they don't need to impress people they don't even like, mortgage to the hilt, trapped. And worse, they believe it's normal. They will mock you for not having a FICO score. They will gasp when you pay cash. They will tell you you're missing out, that you're being reckless. They cannot see the bars of the cage they live in. They are still plugged in, still agents of the matrix. And when you speak truth about cash flow, about velocity banking, about ownership and freedom, they react with fear, anger, denial, because deep down they sense it, the lie they've lived. But they're not ready to face it. Just like the agents, they will defend the system, even if it destroys them, because it's all they've ever known. But you have a choice to stay free, to move with power and peace, to become a guide for those who are ready. And when they are ready, when they begin to feel that splinter in their mind, you will be there to offer them the same choice, the blue pill, go back to sleep, or the red pill and learn what it truly means to be free.
All right, let's go ahead and pay off our debt. Kind of like this mortgage we paid off in 2 years and 9 months, and maybe who knows, you could buy some rental real estate at a discount and also get these sweet rental checks. 14 grand. Man, what was my tenant thinking? Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So, what's velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of something called a line of credit. So, what's a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay back, and then use it over and over again. Right? That's all a line of credit is. And so, there's really only two steps to this. Number one is this budget right here. We already did that, and then we don't get the line of credit when we struggle, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But what we assume is that we have the same income, same expenses, right? So let me go ahead and copy and paste these expenses. But here's the crazy thing, okay? Here's the thing that will freak out everybody that you know, and this is how you know everybody's a agent in the matrix: is that you're not going to save money. Right? You see this $2.12 here. You know, you ask your friends, hey, friend, you see this 8,800, we're making the same income here, and we're saving $2 here versus $0 here. Which one do you think is better? They'll all say, oh, saving money is good, right? Because so when they look at my checking account and then they see I don't have any money saved, right? Because money comes in and it just goes out. Um, yeah, like it literally will freak out people, especially people who are lending to you, like bankers, and they look at your personal financial sheet. Hopefully, you'll find a banker who understands what it is that you're doing, but most of them freak out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move some debt to increase this thing called cash flow, which is kind of like this hidden invisible number that's not readily available when you log into your bank account, kind of like, but this or unlike, actually, unlike or kind of like this checking account number where they clearly see you got none. And what we're going to do is put this to zero and then increase this number as much as possible by moving some of our debt into a line of credit. And the easiest way to determine what debts we move into a line of credit is using the cash flow index formula. So if you don't know what the formula it is, just look it up on Google, right? On the Googles. So cash. Oh, look at that. Three companies own nearly $38,000 Metro Atlanta homes. Interesting. Uh, I own two, but the worst part, and before I get started on this, is that a lot of tenants don't realize how they're driving out like your mom and pa landlords. So like, oh, you be like a hard tenant, and you drive out the mom and pa landlord out of business. Okay, then you're gonna have a large hedge fund owning your real estate that you're gonna rent, and then they truly won't care about you. And then people are their own worst enemies, right? But let me go back here. Cash flow index, right? So basically, right, you got this formula right here, The formula is the balance divided by the payment, right? The loan balance divided by the minimum monthly payment, and then it gives you a number, and the number is kind of like a ranking system. I'm not going to go too much into it, but you see, I've done the calculation here. 15,000 divided by 487.5. That gives you a number, and what you do is you take these low ranking numbers because it's like a ranking system, and then you move it to the line of credit because it's about your bang for your buck. So for example, you get 30,000 here, I pay off 30,000, I get 1,050 of my cash flow back. Whereas if I pay 250,000 my mortgage, I get about 1,050 back, right? So what are you going to do? Would you give someone $30,000 to get 1,050 back in your cash flow, or would you give someone $250,000 to get 1,050 back in your cash flow? You're gonna take the lower ranking ones and do that. And so I'm going to do this. So credit limit. What is the credit limit? Well, we're just gonna cheat a little bit here. And was it 15, 27, 30, 35, 12, 18? How much debt is this in total? This is $137,000. So what we're gonna do is assume that we have a $140,000 line of credit. $140,000 line of credit. And so here's the thing, okay? Basically all this is a tool like a giant credit card based on your house, home equity line of credit. I got a $280,000 home equity line of credit, right? Like I remember when I first signed for this, I was like, "Urgh," right? I was the Thanos, okay? The Thanos snapping away my debt, and that's what I felt like. Even though Marvel movies ain't that popular anymore, $280,000. Now, in this instance, we'll assume we have $140,000 at 8%. Now, here's the crazy thing, okay? We're going to transfer these credit cards into the line of credit. Now, will the bank lend you a line of credit when you're like $2.12 short, saved over, or have money saved, right? Like that's literally the leftover savings. The answer is no. Okay, because they don't lend money to people who need it. And that's how I know the secret to banking. A lot of people don't want to understand this, right? Like I'm telling, like people like are like, I'm gonna go to or I'm gonna go to bank because I need money, and I'm like, don't do that. No, 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 no. You gotta get the money when you don't need it. And that's why I have over $600,000 in lines of credit. $600,000 includes credit cards because a credit card's a line of credit, but I got personal lines. I got business credit cards. I got it all. I got it all. There's probably more I can get, right? There's probably more I can get. Banks don't lend money to people who need it. And look at all this credit. Look at all of it. I got all of it. All right. Let's go back here and let's move some of that debt. And we actually did. So that's $137,000 of debt. And so guess what happens here? Oh my goodness, this all goes to zero. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 credit cards. And look at that. This is the part where you do see how to break out of the matrix, because how do we literally go from $2.12 to $4,427.12, and we make the same income. See here, we a lot of people, if you just don't show them this column, let me hide this column for now. We'll say like, hey, if you make this good money, you got all this debt, and you have $2.12 of savings left over. Do you need to make more money to get out of the hole? And they'll be like, yes, 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 you do. But you know, if you just kind of shift some debt and then make your line of credit as your main operating account. So the difference between the average American and Velocity Banker is that what's the main operating account? So the average American's the checking account, and then someone does Velocity Banking, it's the line of credit. And so what you're going to do is put your entire paycheck, $8,800, into the line of credit, take your expenses out, and then rinse and repeat over and over again, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and To get the next month's balance is based on the previous month's balance, interest minus our cash flow, so 4427.12. And then to get the interest, it's based on that average daily balance multiplied by the interest rate, and then you divide by 12. All right, and then you copy and paste. You see paycheck in, expenses out, paycheck in, expenses out, and you see that your cash flow is so much more bigly than if you just save money, right? So 35 months, we paid it off. So let me just do this right here. So 35 months. And then, yeah, so do that for all the credit cards. And then now we got 3 loans. And to be honest, like I've done these situations so many times that I kind of know from the back of my hand what's going to happen. And there's only a limited amount of debts that a person can have. So like a credit card, a car loan, a student loan, a mortgage. I mean, what other kind of debts can you have? Maybe a personal loan, maybe some Klarna, buy now, pay later, right? But other than like the big four, which is credit card, car, student, and mortgage, there's really not other debt that you're probably going to have, right? And if you didn't know about Klarna, okay, DoorDash allows you to pay using Klarna, right? Buy now, pay later. So you can buy now, pay later your food delivery and paying for with 0% interest. Boy, I wonder how that can go wrong. Okay. But it also says that DoorDash is actually struggling. That's what I heard. Um, yeah, Klarna is losing, look at this, millions of dollars. What's a million of dollar? Must be like one of those chemistry terms, kind of like mole, Avogadro's number, how many moles you have in a solution. I don't know. All right, but actually, let me just do this. Losing money, unpaid debt, and let's see if we get any news stories on that. Um, Klarna users are buying now but not paying later. I wonder if that's why they have credit scores. Okay, let me actually just take a look at this. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, this is why, maybe Klarna is actually learning the lesson that banks have been learning for a while, which or have learned for quite some time, is you don't lend money to people who need it, right? Okay. All right. So let me go back here. All right, so we're gonna go here, which is 35 months, which is luckily I got this amortized loan calculator, right? And so we do the same deal. We got all of these, put them in order. 13 grand. I move into line of credit, lowest cash flow index. So I'll do that right here. Let me just do this, Control V. All right. And then this is going to be plus 13231 to 13231.4. And then we're going to increase our cash flow about 500. And then what's our new cash flow? It's almost $5,000. And then I'm going to do this. And this is going to be 4979.62. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. And then we see that in 38 months, it's all paid off. So 38 months. And then now let's tackle on the student loan after 38 months. It's 0, 38, 38. Let's move that. 32 grand. Move that into the Z lines of credit. All right. So this is going to be plus 32,869.23. And then what's our new cash flow? This is going to be 0. So in a relatively short time, we got $1,000 of cash flow. And let's go ahead and do that. And then this is going to be 545.99. And then this is going to be 44 months, right? 44 months. And then 44 months. And we're going to do this 44 months. And then now it's the mortgage, right? So mortgage, you got to be a little bit careful. If the interest rate is significantly different, right? And you got this low cash flow index number, you don't want to move the mortgage into that line of credit. In fact, let me take out the quote velocity banking calculator. Give me one moment. All right, here we are, velocity banking calculator, right? So let me actually just put in the numbers. If you want to know where I got this from, I actually got this from Renatus, and I actually resell their products for commission. Yeah, I know. I sell stuff. Isn't that how you make money? But if you want to give me money, give me the money, click the Google form link below. Anyways, a lot of people don't want to give the money. Tenants don't want to give the money either, I think. In fact, let me look at this check. 14 grand. Pretty sweet. All right. So, let me go back here. Let me go back here. Where am I even going? Oh, I'm going back here. Sorry, I'm just too in love with this looking at this money, right? Because I'm a giant narcissist. Anyways, so what we do is we just put in the numbers. So $250,000 is the original balance. Current balance is 232,920.51. 3%, 30 years, and then this will be 1054.01. Okay. And then how much is our income? It's 8,800. So 8,800. And then our expenses is everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off, which is 2,300, right? 2,300. Excuse me, my alarm is going off. I'll be back 1 second. All right, I'm back. So let me just do this here. And then the final thing is making sure that you don't move the whole loan into the line of credit, because if we do this, listen, I know it looks good to pay off your mortgage in 3.5 years and only pay 34 grand of interest, but let's see what happens if we do this in small chunks. Okay, 12 grand and 3.2. Okay, so it's still good, but usually, if you, especially when you're dealing with higher interest rate lines of credit, so let me just do 15. You see how that barely went up compared to moving the whole loan into a 15% line of credit. Ooh, right? And if you use a 30% credit card, let me do this, and you do a 30% credit card, that actually turns out better than an 8% first lien HELOC, meaning you replace the mortgage with the line of credit. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and what am I even doing? So 9,000. So 3.2 years, let's write that down. So it'll be 44 divided by 12 plus 3.2. And then this is going to be 6.87 years. All right. And then this is going to be 0. And $6,500, right? Of cash flow. And now we're just actually save money. And we did it all in 6.87 years. Woohoo. All right. Got out of that matrix. And now we can afford some Cybertrucks, right? I found this Cybertruck emoji. Can buy several of them. Maybe we can put them on Turo. Although there is a YouTube channel about a car dealership or a car dealer who shows all his videos of people making terrible decisions with cars. Seems like being a Turo host is not such a great idea. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody's watching this has like 20 or 100 Turo cars. I don't know. Might be a good idea. All right. Anyways, yeah. So let's go ahead. And what am I even doing? I don't even know. Oh yeah, I'm financially free, so got a lot of time in the world. Red pill, right? All right. So I have to think of in order to end this video, okay, I got to think of a key catchphrase that you got. So here's the thing: a lot of times in these videos, I want you to write a comment in the comment box below on the YouTube comment box, so I know you watched the end of the video. And here's the comment of the day. Okay, type in "I took the red pill," or you could say "I took the Velocity Banking red pill." Right? Just type that in the comment box below. That's how you know you watched to the end of the video. But other than that, have a great, happy Memorial Day, and I'll see you all in the next videos. Karina Lanta Mentorship.